You know what time it
Time to
is.
stand up and speak your mind. In this elitist jungle, keep the beats alive. Whether yoga or doja that keeps you high. Gotta stay up, cause on the street you die. Time to wake up and see the light. Stop counting sheep, seize your life. Free your eyes and see suns rise on the horizon. Where the street meets the sky. The master's ignorance feeds our master's greed.
Hey, what's up, guys? All right, man. I wanted to do a quick follow-up to my last podcast because I figured some things out. Interestingly enough, when you talk to your folks and you can get to the bottom of some stuff. And maybe you're paying attention to yourself and you're thinking about things, and sometimes you just don't catch what it is that you don't catch the thing that triggered you. But then you speak to somebody and they go, "Hey, remember this thing happened?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, that is." And then you think on it for a little bit, and it comes to light. So I was not feeling so good. Yesterday, well, it was yesterday when I recorded that podcast. Today's Monday. Yesterday was Sunday. Sunday, I wasn't feeling so good. I started to miss someone, and that relationship is over, and, time has gone by, and I've done some work and some healing in that area, but sometimes things come up that remind you of something about that person, and you have a feeling about it. You get triggered, and it reminds you of that thing, that person. And so I wasn't sure what it was. And then I was having a conversation with my mom, and my mom said, "Hey, there was that thing with your daughter that came up, and your instinct was to call her, wasn't it?" And that probably brought it up, didn't it? And I was like, you know what? I think you're right. No shit. And so I thought on that. And I've been thinking on that today. And so a thing happened with my daughter, right? Something happened. My daughter was acting in a certain way. And I thought, I wasn't sure what to do about it, right? I wasn't quite sure. And my initial reaction, my initial instinct was, hey, let me call her. Let me call her. Maybe she's got some input, right? And I thought, no, that's not. No, I can't call her. What? No, we didn't call her, right? But I thought to myself, I don't really know too many other people to call. I'm kind of doing the damn thing on my own over here with my daughter, right? And this person is a teacher. And she teaches young children, She teaches young children, and so these behaviors she would know about, right? And, I could get on Google, and I can ask the Googler, and I can do stuff like that. But, again, my instinct was to call this person, to call her and say, hey, what, and not to try to reconnect the relationship or anything, just to, hey, I could use some help with my daughter. And my mom was like, that's probably what got you going. You wanted to call her and you wanted to ask her, and so you couldn't. And now you're kind of reliving the story that you told yourself about what you wanted and what your hopes were for that relationship. And now you're sad, and it reminded you that relationship is over, and it's making you sad. It's a trigger point. And I thought, you know what, Mom? You're absolutely right, aren't you? And I've been thinking about it today. At work, I'm pondering on it and going, that makes total sense. That makes complete and total sense that would be what triggered it for me, and the story I had told myself was, and the thing that I wanted out of the relationship was that we're going to build this life together. You and I are going to build this life together, and we're going to blend our families, and and you'll be my partner. And when I have when I have a question about my kid, I can call you, another mom and a teacher of young children. I'll be able to call you and ask you some questions and get some help and get some feedback and probe your knowledge and your experience, And that was the thing. That was the thing I wanted. I wanted that relationship. That was the thing I was going for. And so it reminded me of the fact that I don't have that relationship anymore. That relationship is gone. That thing I wanted is gone. And so it triggered me. It brought that right up to the surface. Boom. Damn it, she's gone, isn't she? Damn it, that relationship is gone, isn't it? Man, I miss that. I miss having that person that I can call. I miss that. Huh. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Something like that, And so I've got some journaling to do. Haven't journaled on it. Got some journaling. Wrote some cue cards about it just so I could be on topic here it's kind of a little bit of journaling-ish. I wrote a little bit, right? Because I wanted to talk to you guys about it and let you go say, hey, right? Light bulb, right? And it was my mom that was my mom that shed some light. Sometimes we think it's one thing or another thing, we don't quite realize what it is, but somebody else might, And I have a good relationship with my mom. We talk about a lot of stuff. And so it was really cool to have a conversation with her. Thanks, Mom. Shout out, Mom. Thank you. I know Mom's listening. Mom's a fan. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate you a lot, Appreciate you, Mom. And so yeah, the story, right? Which leads me into, we build these stories in our mind about the things, about how our life goes and about these relationships and how they're going to play out, and we build these narratives, right? And a lot of what we do in our lives and how we act and go for the things we want are all based on these stories that we tell ourselves, and that was the story I had told myself about this relationship was that, hey, we'll be there for each other. And so really interesting that was the trigger. It was really interesting. And so I kind of wanted to share with you guys, hey, always be open to feedback. Always be open that you don't know everything, and be open to the fact that somebody might have some insight for you. Drop your ego down a little bit, get a little humble, and be open to receive, right? And when you're open to receive, then information can be attained. And I'm not the best at this. I'm not the best at this. My ego can get the better of me. I think I know everything, and a lot of times that happens with my mom. Stop momming me. I'm a grown-ass man. You're always momming me. And it's like, hey, she's your mom. She's always going to be mom, So shout out, Mom. Thanks, Mom. And yeah, it's wild, man. So there it was, identify why I was triggered and missing that relationship, and and just I wanted to call this person. Hey, let me call this let me call her. Let me call her up. And now, hey, dude, little baby girl did this and that. What do you think? What? Oh, is that? You know? Yeah, that story's over. That chapter is closed, you know, and that story is over. And we're on to the next one, you know, on to the new chapter, right? And then some other things that there were some words that I couldn't get. I was talking about God, you know, God wants you to wait, right? God is having you wait. And the reason God's having you wait is because he wants you to work on your competency, right? Your skill level, so that you can build your character up, right? And he wants you to work on your competency and your character so that next time you get into the situation, you don't fail, because he wants you to succeed, you know? And when you think about God being a father, right? I think about being a father, right? And I'm going to have to work on teaching my daughter, right, to wait sometimes, right? And to wait and to learn, to be competent, so that your character is ready for the next challenge, so that you don't fail, because I don't want her to fail. I mean, don't get me wrong. Failure is important. Learning how to fail and learning to accept failure, right? Because we're going to stumble, we're going to fail. And that's another lesson. That's another topic, you know, learning to accept failure. And it's not that you don't want them to fail, but you want them to be able to learn from their failures so that they have a better opportunity to succeed in the next venture, right? Yeah, competency and character. That's why you're waiting. You know, that's why God wants you to wait right now. Just chill. Take a beat. Take a moment, right? You got some work to do. Do the work, right? Got to do the work, man. You got to dig the ditches. So you think about that. Digging the ditches. We could talk about that a little bit. So, work. And so there's this idea, right? Let's think about this. I live in Arizona. Arizona's dry. It's the desert, right? And this idea that God will provide everything that you need, right? So God's in charge of the rain, let's just say, okay? God will bring the rain. The rain will come. And in order to use that rain to the best ability, you got to dig some ditches to channel the rainwater to water the crops and to water the animals and to water yourselves, right? You have to dig the ditches. So God will provide what you need, but there's work to be done, right? You got to dig the ditches. That's what the journal is. The journal is essentially, right? The pen is the shovel, the journal are the ditches. So you got to dig the ditches, right? God will provide the information that you need, but you got to do the work so that you can receive the rain. You got to dig the ditches. And that's what journaling can be about. That's what therapy is about. That's what prayer is about, right? Getting on your knees and praying. You know, that's the work. That's the work that needs to be done. Diving into the abyss is the work, right? Dig those ditches. Dive into the abyss. Learn how to work on these things so that you can build your competency so that your character is ready. Man. Moments of clarity. That's another term I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous, a moment of clarity. And they come. They come and they go. Interesting, isn't it? It's really interesting. So what story, what are the stories you're telling yourself? What stories have you built about yourself? What stories have you built about the relationship you're in? Do you share those stories with your partner? Right? We build stories on a daily basis. I'm building a story in my mind about this podcast that I'm going to get thousands of followers and downloads. It's going to make me money, and I'm going to be able to quit my job and just do podcasts for a living. Right? Fucking all right, Joe Rogan. Calm the fuck down. Calm down, Joe Rogan. Jeez Louise. You know? Hey, but who knows? You never know. You know? Hey, but great thing about this podcast really is hey, maybe I'll help somebody. You know? Maybe someone out there's listening who needed to hear what I'm talking about, and it's helping them. Matter of fact, I got a message from somebody on Instagram. Shout out to you. I know you're probably listening. And this person reached out to me and said, hey, Jay, I really like what you're doing on the podcast. It's really helping me right now. I've been struggling lately, and just listening to you has helped. Keep doing what you're doing, because I'm sure there are others who could use your words. You know, they're important. And I thought, wow, that touched me. Like, that was really powerful for me. And I thought, okay, hey, look at some feedback, some good positive feedback. And I'm open to feedback, right? We talked a little bit about that. We've talked about that before. You know, I'm open to feedback. Hopefully it's positive feedback from you jokers, but you know, some of you haters are going to get in there. And yeah, I'm open to that. So get in those comments and you know, what are some stories you're telling yourselves, right? What are you telling yourself about your life? What do you tell yourself about your relationships? What do you tell yourself about the job you're doing? What do you tell yourself about your goals and your dreams, right? You know, I'm starting to put together a story about this strong man that I'm becoming, this confident man. Right? And that's what God wants. God is more concerned about what you are becoming, right? That's why he wants you to build competency and character. And that's why you got to wait sometimes for there's more will be revealed if you're open, right? More will be revealed. More will be revealed. So here we go, man. Into the pod we go. Dive, dive, dive. Yeah. Pretty cool, man. Thanks, Mom. Shout out to old girl giving me some compliments and reminding me that what I'm doing is helping folks. You know, and that's really what it's all about. Connection. Let's connect. You know, we all need connection. I ran into a customer today, one of my customers having a rough go of it, you know, and we started to talk about connection, you know, and that's really what this human life is all about. Connection. We all want to be connected, you know. That's why we get into relationships with folks. We just want connection. You know, we want to be connected. I want connection. You know, that's the whole thing about I just want to be loved. I just want connection. I want to connect to other humans. You know, I want to be connected. You think about babies when they're born. If you take a baby away right as they're born and you put them somewhere where they have no human connection, they won't survive. They will not survive. We need human connection. It's necessary for survival. We have to have it. We're built for it. You know, men and women connect, right? Biologically, we become one. You know, we connect with our bros. We don't become one. Well, maybe you do, and that's your thing. You know, we connect with our boyfriends and our girlfriends and our buddies and our families, and it's connection. You know, community and connection. And that's why I'm here in this podcast, to connect with you guys and to share. At least that's the story I'm telling myself. It's funny. I was just thinking about are you guys wearing pants right now? 'Cause you guys can't see if I'm wearing pants. Now I'm getting silly. Yeah. Not much else for me to talk about. I really just wanted to get in and say, hey, I figured out what triggered me and why I was feeling, why old stuff got brought up, you know? And it feels good. It feels good too when you recognize it and you go, aha, you know, have a moment of clarity, and it makes things a little bit better. Once you realize, oh, that's what it was. So it wasn't these other things that were happening. It was simply that thing. It was simply that thing that reminded me, damn it, that story that I was telling myself didn't come true. Man, I wanted that story I really liked that story. That was a really cool story. That was a really cool story, man. It was gonna be so great, but it doesn't always work out like that. There's a new story to be written, and that's another thing you got to remember too. Is hey, there's always room for a new story. You can always put the pen. You can always write a new story, right? You close that chapter out. One door closes so that another one can open. Right? There's a hallway of doors. Right? And just because it's a hallway and there are so many doors and we get stuck in this one doorway thinking that that's the only doorway, but really there are many other doors. And so God will close one door and you get stuck looking at, fuck, that door's closed. Why? No. And you forget to look down the hall. Oh man, there are so many more doorways. Let's go see what's down there. Let's take a trip down the hall. Let me knock on this one. Hey, who's in there? Whoa, oh, hell no. You're fuck. Oh, no. Sorry. Who's the next door? Oh, hey, you're not wearing any pants either. Oh, ha, ha. Yeah, man. Anyway. Good stuff. Good shit. Real quick. Interlude. And, yeah, it was a short little podcast there. How quickly time flies. How quickly a 30-minute little podcast can go sometimes when you're just talking and rapping. Anyway, all right, guys, quick short podcast there. Just wanted to get in there, let you know about that. What are the stories you're telling yourself? Get in those comments and tell me a story that you're telling yourself. And are the stories you're telling yourself, are they fun stories? Are they positive stories? Or are you beating yourself up in a story? Because I can beat myself up in a story, right? Fucking, you're never gonna find anybody. Look at you, you're a horrible human, and you're not worth a crap, and those things happen too, don't they? We can tell ourselves some shitty stories, man. Right? And that's when the childhood stuff comes up. Man. Whoa, right? Shift the story, shift your perspective, shift a little. Start telling a better story. Start telling a story of courage and of resilience, a survivor story, right? A hero story. Make yourself the hero of your story, right? I'm my hero. I'm Neo. And start to believe in yourself and start to put that story in your journal, right? Get in your journal the story of the Berg, the story of the listener, the Berg listener. What's the story? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. You know what I'm saying, player? All right, guys. Love you. Peace. And I'm out.
You know what time it is. Time to stand up and speak your mind. In this elitist jungle, keep the beats alive. Whether yoga or doja that keeps you high. Gotta stay up, cause on the street you die. Time to wake up and see the light. Stop counting sheep, seize your life. Free your eyes and see suns rise on the horizon. Where the street meets the sky. The master's ignorance feeds our master's greed. Open your mind and read some chapters.